Something seems to be happening with these demonic sightings increasing worldwide. Are more people just catching these things on camera, or is it something involving them breaking into our reality more and more, a sign of the times that we're in? Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." That's what I believe is exactly tied to these demonic sightings that are increasing worldwide, and we'll look at a few instances of this right now. UFO sightings have become more of a normal conversation, with there even being UFO hearings within our national government in the United States. Lou Elizondo is a former U.S. Army counterintelligence special agent who was a former officer who worked under the Secretary of Defense for Intelligence. He claims that he was a director of the now defunct Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, evaluating the threats of these UFOs in American airspace. He came out in an interview recently and said that he was talking to someone at the Pentagon who told him that these things that they were encountering were demonic and that they need to leave them alone and stay away from them.
I remember the conversation very well. This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He told me, he said, "Lou, I want you to stop doing this." I said, "Okay, sir, I certainly can, but may I ask why?" And he says, "Well, we already know what it is." Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret SAP, and they were telling me to stop. And I said, "Okay, sir, so it's ours?" And he said, "No, that's not what I'm saying." And he said, he asked me point blank, "Have you read your Bible lately?" And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, "Well, sir, I think I know what it says. Where are you going with this?" And he said, "Well, then you would know that these things are demonic and we should not be pursuing them." Yeah. And he wasn't kidding. That's exactly how he felt.
So this is a Pentagon. This is a Department of Defense official saying, "Stop looking at UFOs because they're demonic."
Correct.
Mike Signorelli, a well-known preacher on YouTube, recently had an astrophysicist on who confirmed this same thing, that whatever these things flying in the sky are that people are encountering are either demonic or tied to the fallen angels.
It's a scientifically testable hypothesis. Testable in this way: if you're having these UFO encounters, here's a list of occult activities that invite the demons, the fallen angels, to invade your life. If you get rid of all that, there'll be no more UFO encounters. Wow. But if you begin to practice these things, don't be surprised if you have these encounters.
That astrophysicist Hugh Ross brought up an interesting point, that this book known as the Urantia book is something that was written. It's 4,000 pages long, but it was written by someone who was being channeled.
Well, since we've been talking about channeling for almost an hour now, I think it's time to show people what you can do, sir, as a channel, and ask the beings that come through you a handful of deep questions and see what they come up with. So
We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you.
What it truly is these demonic beings. The person who wrote the book said that it's celestial beings, and they talked about all this different stuff, but one of the main points from these alien beings that they wanted to teach us is that Jesus Christ is not the Son of God, and that he wasn't from a virgin birth, and that he was just some really lovey-dovey type of higher conscious type of person. That's what these aliens teach. They teach occult knowledge that Jesus Christ is not the Son of God. That teaches you right there that this is Antichrist and it's from the fallen realm. John D'Souza is someone else who also worked up high within the government at the FBI, and he's someone who's known to have been involved in the real-life X-Files. They call him sometimes the X-Man. I guess the CIA actually investigated him at one point to make sure that he wasn't giving any of his information to Chris Carter, the inventor of the show, The X-Files. John D'Souza wrote a book titled The Extra Dimensionals: True Tales and Conceptions of Alien Visitors. This is someone who worked for the FBI, investigating FBI claims and theories and events, and this guy's saying that these things are extra dimensionals, or demons, fallen angels, something tied to the fallen realm that break through and in of our reality.
I have received information that alien visitors are not the real ones, are not physical. They are extra dimensional. They are or some people say interdimensional. These alien visitors are not physical. They are coming here from other dimensions, other levels of reality, and they are transmuting themselves into our existence for short periods of time, is what it seems like. And I got this from an FBI document that is now declassified, and I show it in my book, I show it in my presentation.
This is why we come across people who claim that they can summon UFOs or summon Bigfoot, mainly within the occult, but there are these people out there, they claim they can do this thing, and they often can, and it's because they're tied themselves to and connecting to these dark spiritual entities. Robert Bingham is one of those people.
My name is Robert Bingham, and what I do is I'm a summoner. I bring in UFOs, and I interact with the UFOs, and I interact with Bigfoot, I interact with ghosts, but mostly UFOs.
You can only summon spiritual beings, not physical ones, so these sightings that are happening and increasing worldwide are tied to the Ephesians 6 spiritual wickedness of principalities, powers, demons, and fallen angels in the heavenly places. This brings us to the question of what is Bigfoot? Sightings of this creature are happening worldwide constantly. Some estimates are that there has been over 10,000 sightings, with really thousands of sightings every single year. There was a recent video that came of a supposed Sasquatch being that was filmed in Colorado, and while this can be tied to potentially a hoax because the page that posted it right after posted a raffle, and a week before someone was in that same remote office asking if there'd been any Sasquatch sightings recently. But as these video plays, I'll look into something that's known and tied to around Bigfoot sightings known as woo. Proponents who believe that the woo exists points to a vast number of stories in reference to Bigfoot and Sasquatch witnesses who report such things as orbs floating in the air near the Bigfoot, or UFOs being seen in conjunction with the Bigfoot, or other anomalies that might be classified as paranormal or supernatural. Another phenomenon that's tied to this is known as mind speak, in which people say that they believe that them and the Bigfoot are having communications telepathically. This is also something that has been known to happen with people and UFOs. All these strange cryptid encounters, Bigfoot, UFOs, Dogman, or even satyrs, these are all things that, in my opinion, are tied to the fallen angels, demonic realm, the Ephesians 6 spiritual wickedness in heavenly places that break from their reality into our own. And within the Bible, actually, it references satyrs. Of course, satyr is the half-goat, the half-man of a mythology or a legend mythology. I'll play a video on the screen of a supposed recent sighting of one of these things, and we'll look at how the Bible actually has a verse in reference to these satyrs. Isaiah 13:21 says, "But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there." I think when we look at all these different sightings that are happening worldwide, especially UFOs, Sasquatch, and just these other strange cryptid creatures, it's too many to write off. People are seeing these things. They're unexplained in conventional history, but there is an answer for this, and it's completely tied, again, to the fallen angels in Genesis 6:4 that came to the earth in the rebellion, as well as the spiritual wickedness that comes from their reality into ours in Ephesians 6:12. This next clip that we'll look at is someone who, in my estimation, absolutely is demonically possessed. Some people say this looks like it's Doja Cat, who would almost certainly have a demon. This artist who's known for spreading evil in their music videos and their music with songs such as Paint the Town Red or Demons. And this person does share this resemblance, but whether this is Doja Cat or not, this seems to be a real demonic possession, but we'll look at the answer to that and to all of this right after this clip.
Doja Cat or not, this seems to be one of the biggest debates on the internet right now, and I'm not sure if we'll ever know because we never get to see their face, but this person appears to be possessed, looking for their lighter. Check this clip out.
While that may be scary, there's no reason to fear. Demons do want to hurt people, that's really their sole purpose, but Jesus brings deliverance to people who have demonic attacks. 1/3 of Jesus' ministry documented in the Gospels was connected to delivering people from demons. Mary Magdalene, who was a woman who followed Jesus around, traveled with him and his followers, witnessed his crucifixion and his resurrection. Jesus delivered her from 7 demons. Soon after Jesus began a tour of the nearby towns and villages, preaching and announcing the good news about the kingdom of God, he took his 12 disciples with him, along with some women who had been cured of evil spirits and diseases. Among them were Mary Magdalene, from whom he had cast out 7 demons. The only way to stop demons is by the power of Jesus Christ. When an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places seeking rest and finds none. Then he says, "I will return to my house from which I came," and when he comes, he finds it empty, swept, and put in order. Then he goes and takes with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there, and the last state of that man is worse than the first. So shall it also be with this wicked generation. Live with your house full of God and God's ways. Seek him in obedience, in intimacy, and we're told to seek his kingdom first. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. This is how we live our life, and if we have Jesus fully inside of us, we have nothing to fear. The demons tremble at his presence and at his very name, so nothing to fear when you have Jesus living inside of you. I pray you all are well. Thanks for watching, and God bless.